Hi guys, sorry it took me this long to go live when it was expected. The problem was I didn't know how to go live. No matter what button I hit, it wouldn't let me. But now for some reason, it let me go live. So even though it said I'm going live, what would be 2 days ago, I missed that. I hit that by mistake anyway. But then I was going to live up to it by at least going live. But I didn't know how to do it until they gave me the choice to do it now. So sorry about that, guys. Luckily, I have a topic. So I'm going to ramble about that while I'm live here. So I just had a breakthrough about the biggest breakthrough I've had about understanding a song or understanding a solo since having understood Third Stone from the Sun by the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which I understood because I took an edible. This time I didn't need an edible, but LOL. But I did need to make a mistake because I just did Flying High Again live on my channel, and I noticed that I made some mistakes in the solo, and even if I didn't make mistakes note-wise, I didn't have my head around what Randy was doing. And at least for me, I have to get the gist of what someone's doing, even if I know the notes, to be able to play it with real conviction and make it my own. I have to know what he's doing. The guitarist is doing, he or she. So I didn't have it, and then I thought about it. And then I got it. Here's the trick, if you guys are interested. So it's the Flying High Again solo. I understand the tapping part. I've understood that already. In fact, I did that part well on this take. But the parts before that, I didn't do well. And now I understand what he's doing, and so I think I'll kill it next time. Not literally, but that's an expression. Here, let me just think for a second here. Yeah, here's how it goes. It's very tricky here. The main riff is in A Dorian, okay? That's all A Dorian, and that's fine and easy, or it isn't, but whatever. That's just A Dorian. But and I'll explain the tapping part of the solo too while I'm at it, because I do understand that too. Oh man, I'm really in for it now, aren't I? So then he does a part when he goes. People, wait, let me think. Yeah, it's when people think I'm crazy. Yeah, people think I'm crazy. They don't understand. Never saw inside my head. People think I'm lazy, but I'm in demand. Never heard a word I said. Okay, that part is not an A Dorian. It's an it's an F sharp minor chord, then a D major chord. And F sharp minor is easy to understand because it's just the relative minor to, well, no, it's not, because that would be, no, okay, he just does that. And so since the F sharp minor chord is a minor chord, Randy's going to consider that for the solo. He's going to consider that an A harmonic minor or A Aeolian mode, or in his case sometimes A Aeolian blues mode. I'll get to that in a minute. And then he uses the D major chord as a D major scale, chance to play the D major scale. So when you go before the scale, it goes da 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 da, flying high again, da da. That's A Dorian. Come on and join me. Then he goes into F sharp minor or F sharp Aeolian blues. You could call it F sharp harmonic minor. He doesn't do it that way, or you could just call it or you could just call it F sharp Aeolian. Though he adds a flat 5 note, which would be an E flat. No, it wouldn't be. Not an F sharp. Yeah, it wouldn't be. F, G, A, B, C would be a C. Yeah, C would be the flat 5 in key of F sharp Aeolian to make it F sharp Aeolian blues mode. It's just a Aeolian mode with an added flat 5 to make, means it would hold a blues scale up next to it too. But then you'd add to a blues scale, you have to add the major 9th and the minor 6th to make it an Aeolian blues scale. So basically it's classical A F sharp minor. And then he does that. Okay, that's all F sharp Aeolian blues. And then suddenly it switches to the D major chord. And instead of fitting, and what he does over that chord is interesting. He actually plays a D major scale. And that's the key. I'll explain it in a minute. So he plays that's all D major scale. Or you could call it D Ionian mode. And then back to F sharp minor. Or F sharp Aeolian blues. Okay, and that would be F sharp Aeolian blues again. And then he goes back into the D. I got one from you. I did. Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I forgot. I'm sorry. Good to see you. So, so yeah, so it's like I just said. I'll repeat it just for context. So that's F sharp Aeolian blues. Now he's going to do what? And then it goes to D major again. Now he's going to do back to D major scale, or you call it D Ione mode. And that's when he goes. That's brilliant. It's just it was simplified. It doesn't make once you understand it you can do it too. At least I can, but it's also beautiful that he thought of it, and it's beautiful how he did it. So that would be the last lick that of D major or scale, D Ione mode in the solo. So before I go into the tapping part, I'm going to explain the background behind that progression from, in this case, F sharp minor to D major. It could also be D major to F sharp minor, but I'm going to base the key around D major, because it could be either of the two. Why not pick D major? Yeah, fair enough. So that's a Mozart thing. That's a classical thing. If you're in a major scale, let's say you're in C major, it's easy to go to E minor. It's called the mediant in the key of C major because it's the third note in the C major scale. But that note, the C minor scale. I mean, no, sorry, I'm cruising. The E minor scale, which you'd play after a C major scale, because E minor is a major third above C, just like F sharp is a major third above D. So in Randy's case, he's playing D major to F sharp minor, and F sharp minor is a major third above D major. He's doing it backwards, but I'm going to call it that way, as if he were. So that's the same principle as playing C major to E minor. That is C major scale to E minor scale, or E minor scale to G sharp. No, E major scale to G sharp minor scale. So that's actually playing it, starting with the major key, and then playing a minor key, a major third up from that, or in other words, playing a minor key on the mediant of that major key, is really a beautiful sound. That new minor key only has one more sharp in it than the key of the major below. So it is a sharpened key, because technically, if I play C major, then I go to E minor. Technically, E minor is in the key of G major, not C major, and G major has one sharp. So when I went from C major, which has no sharps, then to E minor, which it'll have one sharp. So, but you're sharp. But going to a key that's called very closely related keys, when there's only a sharp or two difference, and that usually you can get away with that, and usually it's also very pretty. And it's prettier. Ironically, it's even prettier than going to the relative minor of the major key you're in, because that just doesn't break away enough. If I go from C major scale to A minor scale, A minor technically is the relative minor of C major scale, but that doesn't sound like you've moved. It doesn't sound beautiful. It doesn't sound like you did much. They're just playing in the same key. But that can be done too, and that does have an effect. But to even strike power into it, instead of going from C major scale to A major scale, go from C major scale to E major scale. Now you got some kick into it. And I'm going to give you one example of this being in in the media, the movie Amadeus, which was brilliantly played by somebody. I think his first name was Tom, but I don't remember his name. I don't remember everything. But in the movie Amadeus, it's about Mozart, because Mozart's name was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So when Mozart is dying in the movie, he has to have a transcriber. I think it's what's he called himself? Scarlatti, something like that. Scarlatti, I don't know, something like that. So anyway, he's helping Mozart write down the music, because Mozart's getting too weak to write, but he's not weak. He's not too weak to say the ideas. And he says to Scarlatti, if that's his name, Scarlatti, he goes, okay, Scarlatti says, what was the last key you were in? And Mozart says F major. And Scarlatti says, what key do you want to go to next? And guess what Mozart says? A minor, tonic to dominant. There's the real fire. So that F sharp major to A minor. That A minor is a major third above the F major. It's the same idea, only instead of being in D, as in Randy's case, or C like I picked, it's in F. F major scale to A minor scale. Beautiful. Randy, and if you know that concept, it's not so great just to know the notes Randy played in Flying High Again verbatim per se, because what have you got? You've got a bunch of notes that sound beautiful, but you don't know what the heck you're doing with them. And not only that, you didn't even write those. If you know the concept, you can make your own, dude. You can just. That's what I'm gonna go to Guitar Center today, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play around with that idea on guitar. If I like it, I might even film it for my YouTube channel, because Randy's solo gave me the concept of how to do this. And I have the technique and the ear to do it. Plus, I have the knowledge of theory to not only do it, but figure out what Randy was doing in the first place. And then there's the tapping part. I said I would do that. The tapping part of Randy's solo is tricky also. I don't want to go over anybody's heads, but then again, I got to do what I have to do, right? LOL. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Okay. All right. So the tapping part is in 2 sections. And each of the 2 sections have 4 first inversion major triads in them. And in both the first section of 4 major triads in first inversion, and in the second section of 4 major triads in first inversion, all the roots of the 4 triads are separated by the notes that make up a major 7th arpeggio in root position. Oh man, see, I don't want to go over his head, but that's the truth. That's what it is. So when he goes from basically the first arpeggio is F major to, no, I'm sorry, I knew that was wrong. A major to F major, to D major to B flat major. So it's just A major. A major, F major, D major, B flat major. And if you play those roots I just said in reverse, you have B flat, D, F, A. And unfortunately, that's a B flat major 7th arpeggio. So there's that symmetry there. And but that doesn't explain why he chose those. And I don't know if I should get into it or not, because it might just ruin the whole thing if it goes over everybody's heads. But